Good morning and welcome to Community Roundtable, a free public service brought to you on AM 1590 KDJS. If you're a member of a nonprofit organization and would like to be featured on the program, call the KDJS Newsline at 320-235-2900. That's 320-235-2900.
This is our Community Roundtable program. Once again, AM 1590 and FM 105.7. Al Sheldon here on your Sunday morning, talking with Kelsey Olson from the Sibley State Park. And so much is unfolding as the spring unfolds here with the 100-year anniversary of the park. Once again, Kelsey, a pleasure to have you on with us. And we're waiting for temps to warm up just slightly, aren't we?
We are. We get teased here a little bit every other Saturday, it seems like. But even if it's cold, we got our wood duck sitting on her nest out here, and swans nesting in here, frogs. So we know it's here. We just want the temperatures to go with it.
Yeah, and I get the feeling that we were out at the park last weekend, a week ago, and I get the feeling there are some people that are kind of keeping a wary eye out for something called a morel.
Oh yes, I did a little marching around in the woods, not here at Sibley, at some friends' private land this year, looking for them too.
Might be a little early yet. What do you think?
I think the temperatures have been a little low. Now, I'm not a morel expert or anything, but I think we need a few more warm days like we had. I don't know, what was that? Couple weekends ago where it was pretty warm on a Sunday. I think it was Easter Sunday was really nice.
You know what's funny about morel mushroom hunting? The best hunter I know is the furthest from the ground. He's 7 feet tall.
Oh, isn't that funny? He has eagle eyes.
This gentleman can see him. He says he smells them.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. On that note, you know, whether we're stopping by the park to just visit, we've got our park pass on our vehicle, or we're camping, we can wander the woods and look for such things. It's okay to do, right?
It is. Yep, you can harvest any fruiting body at a state park, and those mushrooms, like morels, actually happen to be the fruiting body. They're like the berry of the mushroom. Mm-hmm. So any of those things are. The rule is just you can't pick more than what you could consume at the park. So nothing that you're going to, go and sell them or anything like that. Just what you could have for a little picnic. One
of the many fun things that we learn, and boy, I was just talking to a friend of mine. I went to school with him years ago, and he lives down in the Phoenix, Arizona area now, but has family in Minnesota, and he happened to be back in Minnesota this past week. And I had told him, I said, well, if you're anywhere near New London, stop out to Sibley State Park. And the message I get is, gosh, I thought that park was down by Mankato. He had forgotten it had been so long, and he was thinking of Sibley County, I believe,
Yep, and Mankato does have a Sibley Park, too, but we're the Sibley State Park.
Big difference. Big difference, the Sibley State Park. A week ago, we were on the trails, and they're in not too bad a shape right now. Got to tell you, there are some wood ticks that are out. Be prepared for those.
Yep, absolutely. People should come with the appropriate tick protection, whether that's wearing, I would definitely recommend towel pants and long socks pulled up over those. Wear tick gaiters. I'll wear one or the other. I'll even wear my big welly rain boots later on in the summer, too, because we do have poison ivy. So people should definitely come prepared. It's nothing to be scared of and keep you from the park. Same thing you can get just walking through your yard, but it is definitely a precaution that needs to be taken.
And the thing around here is the ticks are of normal variety. We don't have any invader ticks like they do up in the Northeast, those ones that get you really sick, I don't think, do we?
What's that?
Oh, there are ticks up in the Northeast by Duluth and southward that can get you really sick if you're not careful. There's a different breed of tick up there. I found that out personally 2 years ago. That's the only reason I know. I became a statistic for the state of Minnesota.
Oh, no. Yep, you definitely have to take those precautions, and we remind people of that every time we go out for a hike and kind of can demonstrate for them. It's not a big thing to get ready to go for a hike.
No, it's not. And it's a great park to hike in, man. We love it so much. Although sometimes now the hills seem a little bigger than they were last year.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I found out, too? I was talking with one of the folks in your office on, must have been Saturday. Yeah, we walked down to the Lakeview campground. And I have a crack in the windshield of my truck, and I'm going to have the windshield replaced. And I got to thinking, well, wait a minute. We have our state park sticker on there. And the front office folks just said, hey, just get a razor blade and peel that off of there, and then bring it in, and we'll give you the replacement to put on your new windshield. I had no idea what the process was, so
that's not a big deal to do that at all. And if you can't get it all, just take off what you can, stick it on a piece of paper, and that can be replaced really easily.
Yeah, good to do. And the park's going to be a busy one, man. If you want to make reservations, get on it right now if you've got a favorite weekend coming up, because it's a 100-year celebration, and you already got some of the party started just, 2-3 weeks ago, right?
We did, yeah. April 23rd was our actual 100-year anniversary of the legislation being passed that created Sibley State Park. So it was the original park was 362 acres, bought for, I think, $25,000, and it's just continued to grow. But that was really fun. We had a history hike and then a potluck social afterwards. So had a lot of community members and people that have worked at the park throughout the years all got together and sang happy birthday and shared stories. So it was a really fun time.
How many people do work at the park?
You know, in for the, I call it the off season, not during the summer, there's just 5 of us here full time. But then during the summer season, I think we go up to a couple dozen maybe. We have people in the store, the nature store down by the lake, people running the office, a lot of maintenance crew, parks workers that the park just couldn't run smoothly without them. So it gets to be a fun summer family working here.
And I noticed the camp hosts are not in yet. I imagine they'll be coming soon.
Yep, they'll be here soon. But it was fun to see campers start rolling in here. So people are coming, and that's just such a fun start to see that the summer kickoff is happening.
And probably a dozen, maybe 15 last weekend, a week ago. And again, it's going to get busy, so make some plans. You can register online now, right?
Yep, you can. It's all done through our reservation system. So there's a phone number you can call, or you do it online, and it's pretty simple. But I would definitely recommend getting online and just picking a random weekend that you have free and scheduling something out at the park here is a great way just to come and visit and kind of do a kind of spontaneous trip out here.
Yeah, I noticed down near the nature store, the beach area, and the fishing pier, you've got a little work going on that's going to be done here. Looks like pretty quick.
Yeah, we're hoping for by June here at least. So that is a beach renovation project. So that's going to push that beach back a little bit over the years. It's kind of gotten smaller and smaller. So increase the size of the beach. The store is going to be, you'll enter the store from the lakeside, which is how it historically was. A lot of nice sidewalks down there, and it'll make that area, like I said, just a lot more accessible and a really nice picnic and beach area down there. So one of the many projects that we have going on here at Sibley, and just kind of reflects that we're a constantly evolving park.
But when you talk about the history of the park, I think of those buildings, the shower house bathrooms and the things that are made out of the rock, back to the 1930s, was that right?
Yep, that's all built from the Veterans Conservation Corps. So those guys were veterans of World War I who came as part of the New Deal, and they built, all of the buildings of rock and stone, all of our trails and roads, and they were here from 34 to 36. Wow.
Man, I think of the work that went into that. I mean, those buildings, they're not going anywhere.
No,
really solid.
And they're so beautiful. I'm doing a history hike series this summer, and one of those hikes will be about the Veterans Conservation Corps, and it's a really nice hike to hear the stories of those individuals and just the dedication they put into the parks. I mean, it was really blood, sweat, and tears into building these structures that, you're right, are so beautiful today.
You know, in the lower campground, Lakeview, where you have the trailer dump, there's that tall building there, that square kind of tall building.
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
It was one of the old water towers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool little campsite you can have. Last summer I was going around doing my rounds, inviting people to programs, and there was a family that had just arrived, and this little boy, maybe 6 or 7, spilt out of the car just screaming, "I'm the king of Sibley," because he thought that was like his little castle there. So, yeah, that's one of the structures they built, and sure makes for a fun camping spot.
When we get grandkids there, we call that the Witch's Tower.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I suppose.
We get a little storytelling going on, and have some fun with that. To the point to where, boost me up to the window. I want to look inside,
Yeah.
Good
stuff.
How
funny.
Yeah. Hey, now, you've got some programs coming up here. What's next on the schedule?
We do. Well, our next really big birthday bash we have scheduled is on June 8th. So we have 4 different birthday celebrations. This is really the big kickoff on Saturday, June 8th. So we'll have a lot of community programs throughout that day. Prairie Woods Environmental Learning Center is bringing over their big Voyager canoe. 20 people can fit in that for some rides. Sibley does have a unique history of softball being played here. In the 30s, during the Great Depression, that Lake Andrew dried up all the way, and they made a baseball field out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And
we've got some pictures of the old Como Beach. That was on the north side of Lake Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
The old Como Beach baseball team there. And then when those veterans came in the 30s, they built our fields that we have here today. And then I think an Eagle Scouts in the 90s kind of made the benches and the backstop for it. So we're going to have a community baseball game or little softball game followed by root beer floats. And then we're really excited to have musician Siama Matsunzungiri coming. So that Siama is S-I-A-M-A, and he's from the cities, if anyone wanted to look him up. But he's an African-born musician, and so has drums and rattles and just a really cool beat that's a little different than the musical circuit we usually get here in West Central Minnesota. So he'll be here from 1:30 to 3 that day, and that'll be up at Cedar Hill. We're going to have a lot of tables, kids' activities up there, good fun time up there. I think even the Humane Society is going to bring a couple pets available for adoption. We'll have face painting, and then it'll end with us all singing happy birthday to the park together and having birthday cake. So I am super excited for June 8th.
And the gentleman's name again is?
Siama Matsuzungiri.
Easy for you to say.
I have it written out pretty well. But yeah, it's spelled Matzuzungidi. And if you just look up Siama, Minneapolis, he shows up, and listen to his music. It'll be a really fun opportunity for the family just to hang out, do some activities, and enjoy, scenic Sibley.
Well, that'll be great, yeah. And Cedar Hill again, for those who don't know?
That's past, if you're down by the beach, there's the parking area right down there by the beach. You'll go to the right. You'll actually go right past that baseball field, and it's right up a hill there. So we'll have signs out and people directing you. And the other exciting thing about that day is that is National Get Outdoors Day, so it's free park entry. So
Nice.
It's a completely free day of family activities as well.
It's one of the things I told people, and we've done more than once. We've driven to the park and just got out and drove around or walked around to see, that's a good camping spot. There's one we should try. We mark down our favorite camping sites, so when we're making reservations, we know which ones we want to aim for first,
Yeah, absolutely. And we kind of have whatever you want here at Sibley. If you want kind of quiet and private tent sites, go up to Upper Oak Ridge. If you have a camper and want to be close to all the action, the fishing pier and boat launch and all of that, go to Lake Andrew. If you want to just be by yourself and enjoy the call of the loons, we've got the primitive camp for you. So we really have something for everyone.
You know, what's unique is it seems that there's something different over every hill. Like, we don't know when we crest this hill, how far down does it go? Is there another pond, a little pond down there? We found a couple yesterday, as a matter of fact, you know.
Oh, good. How fun.
Always a good time. Now, every month you've got things featured, right? There'll be events in July and August.
Yeah, so I think it ends up being the third Saturday. 1, 2, 3. Well, this one's the 4th. But it's June 22nd, July 27th, and August 24th. Mm-hmm. Those are all Saturdays. We have different themed program parties each of those days. So June 22nd is the Forest Foray. July 27th is going to be our Prairie Party. And August 24th is our Water Wingding. And on all of those days, you can come to themed naturalist programs. We have an Animal Live program where you'll meet a live animal from that habitat. Most of those events have a make and take program. So like for the Prairie Party, you can come and make a bee nesting box to take home and help invite those native bees into your backyard and into your garden, which is those pollinators are so important. And then all of those events, again, too, will conclude with music by a local Minnesota musician down by Lake Andrew. So that music is going to meet by the Lake Andrew campground. So you can come, you know, do whatever you want with the family, go for a hike together, go for a paddle, join me for a naturalist program, and then just end the night with a picnic on the shores of Lake Andrew listening to live music. So we're really trying to have something for everybody this year.
I know we've 2 or 3 times used the park for a birthday party. A little picnic birthday party, you know. We've used the Cedar Hill area once and right down below from there toward the lake and beach area. And a lot of different spots where you can kind of gather the troops, as we call it, and get everybody together for some hot dogs and hamburgers, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Yep, it's a great place to do that. And another fun thing we have going on, this will be on the July 27th day, for those people who want to just have a picnic and hang out. Go down by Lake Andrew by the beach and set up your camp down there for the day, because we're going to have a vintage baseball team. The Mankato Baltics are coming and doing a demo old-fashioned baseball game. So they play 1860s rules. They have all the old equipment, all the old uniforms.
Wow.
If you want to play on that game, you know, come on over and they'll have a uniform for you, and they'll tell us how to play the game and all the different rules, and it'll just be a fun thing to sit around and hang out with the family and watch this cool vintage baseball game. So that's on July 27th.
You know what you're doing right now is you're making me thirsty for lemonade and hungry for ice cream.
Good.
that's what I correlate to that kind of a ball game, having a good old Sunday afternoon, you know.
Right, and we'll have root beer floats after that one, but we could probably have some lemonade for you too.
Oh, that'll work. Now, you know, Kelsey, a 3 minutes ago, you mentioned the native prairie grasses, and I know when we go up to the upper campground, we drive right by the native prairie area. They're one of them anyway. How are those prairies doing, and do you see more wildlife because of those now? How's it coming along?
Yeah, we have a lot of different areas in the park that have prairie that we've reintroduced. So whether that's by, introducing fire, we have a little spot here by the Interpretive Center that goes from below the kind of Interpretive Center intersection hill up to the camper cabins that was funded by Pheasants Forever. And I can tell you, just because I'm close to that area, it all used to be this kind of icky brome grass, not ditch grasses. And it's now been 3 years, if not 4, that's been planted, and it is so exciting to see the different flowers coming up. Butterfly weed, wood lilies were coming up in that area, and the diversity of butterflies and even the fireflies over there was really apparent last year. And now the bigger areas, with the new property we've acquired and done burns within the last few years, it'll be really exciting to watch those areas. But with those reintroduction of those native plants and grasses come all of our native species. So it's really exciting to see here at Sibley.
And we've had such a shortage when it comes to butterflies and bees, the pollinators, as you say. We saw a couple butterflies this week ago camping. It was just nice to see. A little cool out yet, but gosh darn it, when I was a kid growing up on our farm, we had all sorts of butterflies and bees over here and there, and it just seems like it's not that way anymore. Hopefully they're going to make a return,
Yep, and people can even just, like the Prairie Party on July 27th would be a great opportunity to come and go on a prairie hike with me and learn some of these native plants and flowers. Because you can buy, we have native plant nurseries in the area, and even just doing a little patch of them in your yard really does help those species a lot too, and make it fun so you can have monarch and monarch caterpillars right in your backyard, and swallowtails and all that fun stuff too. Native bees, so people can come and learn about how they can bring this stuff to their backyard too.
A couple of folks we know have beehives and have done pretty good on the honey, which is really good. And what's really, really good is they've shared a little bit with us,
Yeah, it is neat. We have quite a few people in the New London area that have beehives, and that's really fun to see.
Interesting, for sure. There might be somebody listening right now, Kelsey. I think of some of the younger folks, especially maybe having breakfast with mom and dad, or whatever the case may be this time of day, and they're going, hey, that really sounds fun. I want to work at the state park. So how do you get to be who you are and doing what you do?
Yeah, I get asked that a lot, and I get to share it a lot. I was just at Ridgewater. They have a local career day every year, and I see probably about 60 kids who are interested in the field, and just talk to community members too. But I've got a 2-year degree in natural resources from Central Lakes College, and then I finished up with a bachelor's degree from the University of Wisconsin. And my degree is environmental education interpretation, so it's basically being a naturalist. But we have naturalists throughout the state park system who are geologists or even journalists. Those communication majors really help too. And I always tell people, if you're interested, come out to the park. I have lots of volunteer activities, or you can just shadow me for a day and get a sense of what this is like. So if you're interested in a career with the DNR, call up that local DNR office, or you can call me or email me here at the park, and I'm happy to connect you with those people. And if you're looking for like our summertime positions, you can find all of those on the Minnesota State Jobs websites. And we did just have, I think, a couple positions posted up there. I'm not sure if they're still open, but opportunities do come. And, if you like being outside and, working where people go on vacation, sounds like a good office for you.
It's a heck of an office being out there.
Working at Sibley or a state park is just a real privilege.
And you do work. It's a year round. You might be out there when it's 10 below, right?
I am. Yep. Yep. I was here when we had that very strange April storm, and it was sleeting brown snow and thundering. And the neat thing is, my job is part of that recording it, so I can share it with people later on. So I've got it pretty good.
And a number I should know, but I don't. Maybe you do. How many state parks are there in Minnesota? Is it like 67, or am I off on that?
I think we have 76.
Okay.
But between us, we're
we're close.
we're close. We're within there. Our latest one is the Lake Vermilion up by Ely.
Tip of the iceberg for us. Not every park will have as many camping facilities. Most of them do, I'm guessing. But man, there are some beautiful parks in this state to visit. And like I say, we think we've visited a lot, and we've gone to maybe 10.
Yeah. Yep, and we are lucky here in the Wilmer Lakes area that we are in close proximity to a lot of neat parks. Not many people in the area say, oh, yeah, I've been to Sibley. People can't say the same for Monson Lake State Park, which is just 12 miles west of us. I call that a hidden little gem right now Monson Lake is going to have a carpet of bloodroot flowers, a very early spring flower blooming. That's just beautiful, and it's a quiet park. We're close to Glacial Lakes and Big Stone Lake. And if you're up for a little drive farther south, you can visit Minneopa State Park or Blue Mound State Park that both have bison and now often offer bison tours. So like down at Blue Mounds, you can go on this. They made a big truck into kind of a neat buggy, and you can ride on this truck right through the bison range and hear about the reintroduction of bison in Minnesota. So
wow.
We are by some really cool parks.
That could be called like a Blue Mound Cadillac.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, we've been up to, Lake Carlos isn't that far away either, north of Alexandria. And when you mentioned Monson, the Sibley State Park kind of governs or manages Monson Lake State Park, right?
Yep, a lot of our parks in the park system now have like a sister park that they manage as well. So you'll see that around the state too. But
yeah.
Yep, we manage Monson Lake State Park as well, and I try to get out there for programs here and there. And if anybody has a community group that they want to do a program with, whether that's a church group or a scout group, and maybe you want to go out to Monson or just come here to Sibley, people can always call me and request programs too.
Aside from Sibley, do you personally have a favorite park?
Yeah, of course I love Sibley. I have a family connection here. My great-great-grandfather homesteaded land that's now part of the park, and my grandfather grew up here. So I just love the history of the land use history of Sibley. And of course I love the North Shore like everybody else, but there is something really special to me about Blue Mound State Park.
Okay. Besides the buffalo.
Besides the buffalo, it's in that prairie area. You can hit up places like Pipestone National Monument, Jeffers Historic Sites, which is a Minnesota Historical Society sites on the way down there. So you can do a really neat little circle of Minnesota's natural and cultural history in that area.
Not too far from Camden Park either.
No, it's not. You could hit up a couple state parks if you were going to go, Friday, Saturday, and come back Sunday.
One last question. Gosh, I'm looking at my clock. We've got about 1 minute. Do you know how Mount Tom got named?
No, and trust me, I have done my research. I have done my digging, but that one I think is a mystery for the books.
I'm thinking so. Everybody I've asked is like, we don't know.
Nope.
Everything I've read, no, not a definitive answer.
Nope. People have to make up their own stories.
Well, that's what it's there for. Then we'll do that. All right. Well, so much to talk about. And Kelsey, we should get together probably the first part of July and give people a little update, okay?
That sounds good, and I hope to see everybody out here on June 8th.
Sibley State Park, 354-2002. The phone number, better yet, stop in. Just west of New London off Highway 71. You'll see the signs, of course. Kelsey Olson with us today on Community Roundtable.
You've been listening to Community Roundtable, a free public service brought to you on AM 1590 KDJS. If you're a member of a nonprofit organization and would like to be featured on the program, call the KDJS Newsline at 320-235-2900. That's 320-235-2900.